Welcome to Switchblade City, where the stakes are high and the crime rate is even higher. This is Fallen Aces, the game that looks like Watchmen and plays like Bioshock. I played through it a few months ago, forgot most of it, and I wanted to make a video about it. Since I played it, they've added bug fixes, a new game mechanic, a boss fight, and a hub area called the Hideout. Right now the game is in early access with only the first episode being out at the time of recording, but it's still an incredible game that I think more people should check out and talk about. Now, like anything, let's start from the beginning. In Act 1, we're introduced to Michael Thing, private investigator and full-time drunk. He wakes up in the middle of the night due to a call from the phone.
Hey, Bill. About rent.
Listen very carefully. There are men coming to kill you, and unless you do precisely what I say...
Oh, wise guy. Look, I don't have time for prank calls, and I don't appreciate...
Stop talking and pay attention, Mike. I don't know how long you've got, so you need to move pronto.
How do you know my name? Who is this?
The guy trying to save your sorry ass. Now, get out and get moving before they show up.
Before who shows up? What the hell's going on here? Hello? Men trying to kill me? Get in line, pal.
Right after, there's a commotion outside of the apartment door and we're introduced to the game's combat.
Get him! Get over here!
Essentially, if you aren't using your fists or your legs, anything that isn't nailed down to the ground can be used in combat. Soon after I put those two guys to sleep, I found a secret.
Are there secrets in this game? Hold up. Ooh, there are secrets in the game.
This ought to do the job.
With this newfound knowledge that there are secrets in the game, I made my way to the front lobby. Now here is the first little taste of the stealth mechanic in this game. See, you can go about most levels in this game in two different ways, loud or stealth, or a secret third option that I like to call do. But we'll get to that later. Here though, in the main lobby, the game somewhat suggests that you should sneak around the enemies to get outside, since there are several of them. However, I didn't do that. Since I found the gun from the secret, I decided to have a little fun with it. After kicking the vending machine for not having unlimited stock, I finally made my way outside onto the streets of Switchblade City, where I pulled a NASCAR type move and made a hard left to the nearest newsstand. Here I learned that the guy who got shot in the intro, Victor J. Waltz, hadn't died from the gunshot. There's lots of papers and letters like this scattered throughout the game, and most of them give some sort of backstory to a certain event. Next, I heard some noises coming from the barbershop just down the street. I peeked inside and saw two gangsters shaking down the owner of the shop. And here's another type of choice the game gives you. You can either completely ignore NPC events like this to just focus on the main objective of the level, or you can help the NPC being harassed in exchange for some items. Which is what I did.
So what's happening?
Like that. How about someone for you guys?
Police!
Get him!
Police!
And as thanks for helping him, I found some painkillers, a med kit, a bottle of whiskey, and some ammo. After leaving the barbershop through the vent, I took a few moments to just admire how good this game looks. This scene right here, it looks like it was taken straight from the comic Batman Year One, and I sincerely mean that. The whole hand-drawn comic book aesthetic of this game never fails to amaze me, but it only lasted for about a couple of minutes as my attention had been drawn to an alley and a rat.
Michael thing, but don't you worry about that. The boys are gonna make sure he takes a nice long dirt nap with the one.
Then I took care of the goons in the alley and made my way to the local comic shop where I took care of the goons ransacking the place there as well. I found a secret up on the second floor and a letter that told me about a safe in room 204 of the Royal Arms Apartments. So, after sneaking past some enemies and accidentally finding out that the game has fall damage, I went and found the key to room 204.
Well, if it isn't Thane in the blood.
And then I found it again. Right there. That's why sometimes it's best to play it strategically and not run in all gun-ho. Anyway, I got the key and I made my way back to the Royal Arms, where I opened up room 204 to find a safe. A locked safe. Luckily, there was a letter next to it telling me where to find the code, so after finding the code, I went back and opened up the safe. I went back to the donut shop to exact my revenge on the goons who beat me the first time around. I found the Godfather reference and used it to make my way past the enemies at the donut shop. Finally, I made my way to Pete's apartment only to find that someone had gotten to him already.
Oh no. Pete! No, no! Sons of... I'm gonna find the ass who did this.
You won't have to. Glassjaw wants to see your ugly mug, face to face, and see the fear in your eyes before he plugs you. Alright, boys, drag this piece of to the car and let's hit the bricks. Can't wait to see this. It's gonna be one hell of a party. Nap time's over, Buttercup.
What the hell? What is this?
Oh, easy there, sweetheart. Them ropes ain't tied that tight. Wouldn't want to fall and split your noggin now, would you? Hate to see you go splat like that. Especially with all that blood rushing to your ugly mug.
Look who's talking.
What's that? Why you... Oh, you're a f***ing comedian now, huh? Yeah, see how much you're laughing after this.
Don't I pay you to be cooler-headed than that?
Boss, you didn't pay us for this kind of trouble, that's for damn sure.
Now see? That kind of insubordination. That, we have to bite at the source.
All I'm saying is, after all the shit he put us through, why ain't we iced this?
Now keep your mouth shut, if you know what's good for you, before I bite off the other foot. Anyways, where were we?
Thomas?
In the flesh. What's left of it, anyway. But never mind the dental work. We've got some catching up to do.
Thomas, listen, whatever this is, I just want you to know that...
Little Birdie told me you were investigating a certain individual. An individual I have a keen interest in.
Is that right?
Yes. You know, you have a nasty habit of sticking your nose where it doesn't belong.
What? You're gonna rub me out like you did Pete? Listen, I'm sorry about what happened to you, but what you did to him, I won't let that go.
Ha! I'll keep that in mind. It was nice seeing you, Michael. Dump him in!
You got it, boss! Alright, boys! Dump the son of a...
No, wait. Tom, listen to me. You don't need to do this.
Listen to him crying for his life. It's over for you, chump. Nobody messes with the glass.
Spread out! I want that sniper flushed out. Now!
Okay, I played a few cutscenes so far, but that's the last full one that I'm gonna show, because I don't want to spoil much more of the story, and I want you to play it for yourself so you can see how good this game is firsthand. This is level 2, which immediately introduces you to two new things. underwater mechanics, and finally a name for the guy who saved us, Nightwave. He will actually help you as a gadget for this level. Oh, and gadgets are these things that you can activate by pressing the F key. For most of the game, you just have your lighter so you can both see in the dark and light up an occasional oil spill.
Oh, I think I see some scram loser. I don't know. Get the hell out of here.
But in this level, you can actually swap over to Nightwave and he'll snipe any enemies that you tell him to.
Get rid of this guy.
Taking a shot.
So long as he can see him.
Taking a shot. Can't get a clear shot in.
And this was insanely useful when it came to taking care of the snipers because those guys have Arthur Morgan levels of accuracy, not to mention the fact that they can fire pretty quickly too. Anyway, following a fight and a setback, I made my way across the level, traveling across a warehouse, some ships, and water.
The water is teeming with sharks.
Oh, great.
Be very cautious if you think about swimming across.
Shark-infested water. FYI, if you do jump in the water, which I do believe you have to, don't take a gun with you.
I have a gun. What do I... Oh.
They don't work, which is accurate to how it would work in real life. However, I wasn't expecting the game to be so accurate in that regard. So, after another setback, I made my way onto the SS Manticore, where I encountered a lot of enemies and used the quick save feature in a panic because I couldn't see where the sniper was, and neither could Nightwave. After a couple more setbacks, I finally found where he was at, and I learned firsthand that the cliché in movies of the villain not looking up to see a hiding spot is indeed true. Upon getting rid of the sniper, I relieved the shipmates of their duties for the night and made it off the ship.
Hey, the door to the control room is locked. Any ideas?
Looks like you'll need to find the key.
Yeah, no
For about a few minutes or so, because there's a key on the ship that I needed to get to continue the level. I got the key, lowered the drawbridge, and got serious flashbacks to seeing objectives survive from Halo Reach as soon as Nightwave said,
Got some more hostiles heading your way. Try and hold them off. I'll cover you.
I held them off, made my way back across the drawbridge to the beginning of the level, and Nightwave proved that he's got way more than just some skills with the sniper rifle.
Okay.
Let's go, pretty boy. Get over it.
You fellas
Seen a cutscene like this before.
piss me off.
Hey, who's messing with the lights?
Holy crap!
Sirens or klaxons, the girls never fall. But I get attention when they hear that call. Wild about horns on automobiles that go.
Okay, so the third level in the game is, I'm pretty sure, the biggest level in the game, and the one that got affected most by the Turf War update that released on September 16th of this year. The update added a lot to the game, however the two biggest additions, at least in my opinion, are the Turf Wars and the Merchant. Turf Wars can be seen on levels 1 and 3 of the game so far, and they occur anytime the two crime families, the Benedettos and the Glasshearts, are near each other. If you see them fight each other, it's probably best to stay back unless you want to be caught in the crossfire. Now the Merchant, that is a huge addition in my opinion, because since the money that you collect each level carries on to the next, you can buy stuff from the Merchant that's at the beginning of levels 3 and 5. And I imagine going forward that any levels that have the Merchant at the beginning is the game's way of telling you that you're gonna do a lot of fighting, so stock up. Or you can just bribe the guy standing guard to let you through.
Hold on. This here is going.
Bribery is for people with cash to spare though, and I won't have cash to spare until the next level. But as a result, I ran out of ammo. So I picked up some more and continued on with the level, upon realizing that I wasted my money. But I moved on in the level where I encountered some early access stealth mechanics.
No more f***ups. If boss finds out, I'm toast.
I went down the road and was introduced to Blake, the owner of the nearby scrapyard that's been littered with mobsters. He's been placing booby traps all around the scrapyard to try and help with the problem, but they won't stop piling in, so he needs my help with the whole situation.
Hey, Mike! Nightwave told me you were coming. Listen, these are giving me a hard time. I'm holed up in the garage. Mind giving me a hand by beating their ass?
Upon reaching him, he'll tell you that a Benedetto stepped on a Glassheart's turf, which prompted both gangs to take action. He tells us to take some extra booby traps that were set aside in the garage and place them around the junkyard, since more mobsters are going to lay siege to the junkyard any second now.
Couple, and just put them on a smooth surface, and let the tripwire do the rest. Just be careful not to blow yourself up.
Now that all the mobsters are taken care of, I can get a new car, which is the entire reason that I needed to rescue Blake in the first place. But before I could do that...
This one oh!
What the hell did your mom feed you?
The devs decided to add in a full-on boss fight that you have to beat in order to get to the car. Now, like most things in the game, you can handle this one of two ways. Either face him head-on with your wits and your fists, or you could use some extra booby traps from before. I'm glad I had some spare traps because I went back in the level and tried to kill the big Palooka normally, and he's a lot harder than you might expect. But anyways, it turns out he took the key for himself, so I took it off his hands and drove off in the car with Blake. Alright, welcome to the hideout. This place acts as the major hub area for the game and was added pretty recently at the time of recording this, on November 28th of this year. You can access the hideout after Chapter 2 and you'll be taken back there after every level. However, you can also access it from the main menu as long as you've already beaten Chapter 2. There's a pretty decent amount to explore in the hideout, including an upper floor, a firing range, and a dog which you, for some reason, can't pet.
How's it going, Pooch?
Oh, that's Speedy. Best leave her be. She's not fond of strangers.
Anyway, Blake has something he wants to show you up on the second floor, that being a lunchbox and an ammo box. Those can hold one food item and any one type of ammo respectively, and they're really useful. If you find all the secrets up to this point, I imagine you'll probably be able to afford them. However, I'm not sure since I didn't spend enough time looking for them, but by the end of the next level, you should have more than enough money to buy both the lunchbox and the ammo box.
It's murder in the moonlight, another mystery. I'm being killed with kindness, it's love in the first degree.
Okay, now this, so far, is the biggest stealth section of the game, Victor J. Waltz's mansion. Once you get inside the gates, Nightwave tells you something pretty important.
For now, try and pacify all of them. We don't need more corpses lying around the crime scene.
Now, while this is a secondary objective and not vital to completing the mission, I personally found it pretty fun going around stealthily knocking out all the enemies. For the most part. After all the enemies were pacified, I scoured the mansion for clues about the crime scene, and there were some pretty nasty ones, including a Halloween reference, which I thought was really cool. After collecting most of the major clues, you can go into Waltz's office and check out what's inside. But what's more interesting is what's down below.
Well, would you look at that?
After inputting a code that was found at the piano earlier, I opened the doors to see all sorts of vigilante artifacts from the Anti-Crime Enforcement Service, or ACES, a group of people that used to monitor Switchblade City and took law enforcement into their own hands. The people of the city loved them, but due to some currently unknown tragic events, the Aces disbanded. Anyway, at the back of the room is a safe with a folder that's full of files of dirt on everyone in the city, which is why the mob was there in the first place. Speaking of the mob...
With the Benedetto crime family, it would seem this would make the average highbinder blush.
We got more trouble upstairs. Grab those documents and get out of there.
Once they get to the mansion, you can either take care of them or run and dodge all around them until you reach the car. Since the secondary goal hadn't been completed yet, I opted to run around all of them and follow Nightwave's advice of not leaving any more bodies at the scene of the crime. I'm sure that you can make it out more stealthily than I did, you know, sticking to the shadows and all that, but I just ended up running past all of them. You know, can't hit what you can't see. I made it out with Nightwave, and our immediate next goal was a rescue mission at a nightclub called the Moth and Flame.
Be careful, young lady, this is the only heart I own. Be careful, young lady, you're stepping in a danger zone.
But not before returning to the hideout to recuperate, which was actually a good thing because it allowed me to pick up both the ammo box and the lunchbox from Blake. I tried to pet Spady again, failed, and moved on to the final mission of the episode.
Glassjaw's not gonna burn his meal ticket. At least not until we make good on our end of the deal. Even so, I'll be a monkey's uncle if he lets us stroll out of there alive. Rescuing this broad ain't gonna be easy. I always did like a challenge.
Remember what I said earlier about the merchant meaning that a lot of fighting is coming up? Yeah, that rings true here too. Using the leftover cash I had, I bought a revolver, a shotgun, some ammo for both of them, and some body armor. Now, instead of being careful and strategic like the game probably intends you to do, I decided to play some Doom instead. Well, it was nice while it lasted. The next go around, I decided to try and play it more strategically, which in turn led me into a bathroom showcasing Gianni Matrigano recreating the average person's post-Taco Bell experience.
Alright, here it goes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that went on for 5.5 minutes. Exactly 5.5 minutes. I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out. Gianni himself uploaded a video of it. Anyway, after trying to be more strategic about navigating the nightclub, I lost my patience. And I probably should have been a little more patient. While tactically retreating, I managed to stumble onto the path that I actually needed to go to in order to reach the rescue target, and upon reaching her, the mission became about 10 times harder.
I just need to...
Alright, Miss Price. You're coming with me.
Get me the hell out of here.
I'm really glad I bought that body armor because once I started moving, I could not stop. The enemies were everywhere, but eventually I did make it back to the car where I was greeted with a cliffhanger and the level end screen, which says to look forward to both episode 2 as well as the level editor. I personally can't wait for a level editor. I don't know that I'll make any levels personally, but I'll definitely check out some levels that other people have made. So, there you have it. That's Fallen Aces, a game that I think way more people should check out. I know it's in early access right now, but I still think it's worth buying at this moment in time, especially since the more content that releases for it, the more the price is gonna increase. I can tell that everyone working on this game is incredibly passionate about it, and so am I. The comic book aesthetic, the combat, the immersiveness of the world, the different paths you can take to finish each level, it's all just incredible. If anyone working on the game is watching this video, please please take your time working on the game. I want the future updates to have as much love and care put into them as this first episode, so take your time and make episodes 2 and 3 ones that everyone will look forward to. I know that I am. Hey, if you liked watching this, please don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe. I would really love to continue making videos, but I can only do it with a lot of support. Thanks.